Hey, Soggy, come back. In there. Hey everybody, I'm Caleb from Woodshop, and today, stay in there. Today we're going to make this cat bed out of oak using some dovetail joints. Stay in there. Let's check it out. The main frame, bed frame thing, cut down to size, fit this bed in, and I'm ready to start laying out dovetails. We'll start by getting the thickness, and I like scoring my line face of the board. You could definitely do it on the back, so when you put those joints together, you won't see your While I'm making these lines, I might as well do it on these boards. So now I've got my square, and I've got it set to this distance for the outside length of the dovetail. Alright, so with those 4 lines marked, or make my angle, and I always just make up an angle. I don't know if you're really supposed to do a certain degree of angle for dovetails. I feel like if you're cutting them your damn self, then you could choose whatever you want. So I want to start cutting my tails now. I decided to try something a little unorthodox. So I normally do the dovetails on the bandsaw, but I decided to see if I could try to cut these on the table saw. I think I got it worked out pretty good. So I've got a line marked here for outside and inside, so I can at least cut these angled lines, and then maybe I'll work the rest of the waist out with the bandsaw. I don't know. I'm laying out the pins now, and to me that's a lot more difficult than laying out the tails. Make sure my pencil's really extra sharp. And I'll just bring these lines down. So there's where I marked. Trace those pins and bring those lines down. Label what's what, and scribble out my waist, because it really can get confusing, because you don't want to go through all this effort just to slice right through a pin. I got a chisel, I've got sanding sticks, a file, and it's just using all of that stuff to pare things down, shape stuff, to try to get it to fit properly, because it might have twists or gaps, and you got to figure out what part of the joint is causing that to happen, then trying to fix it. I think this is where doing dovetails is probably the trickiest thing, because I'm not really a hand tool woodworker, and you kind of got to work like one when it comes down to getting these to fit correctly. I'm having some kind of twisting happening here, where when I get this joint in good, it wants to kind of start popping out here. Now, it's actually pretty dang square. I'm surprised, because I didn't think it would be. I may work on that a little bit more. and then I can actually assemble it. So now that I got everything fitting the way I like it and I sanded my inside parts, I'm ready to go ahead and glue it up. Cut those thin strips out so I could use those as cleats. I've got some pine boards that I'm cutting down for the slats in the bed. I cut these little blocks out and I'm going to use those for the feet, but I don't need this much just wood sticking out, so I've drawn just an angle on here so I can cut this section out and I'll have like a little L shape for the feet. Now the real question is, will my cats even use this when I'm done with it? And I'm thinking the answer is no, so I don't even really know why I'm making this. Their favorite place to lay down is either just on the workbench. They love laying down on a table saw, like on the blade. So I gotta make sure it's unplugged anytime I'm not using it. Now, while those feet are drying, on a totally unrelated topic, check out this wooden box that my mom gave me. She found it in a thrift store. It is Eastern Red Cedar. It says June on the top. What's interesting about it is it has a name on it, Ray, and the date it was made, November 7th of 1947. So this box is like 73 years old, I think, off the top of my head. Unfortunately, Ray did not put his last name, so all I know is this box was made by Ray in 1947, so I don't know if Ray is around anymore, but a family member might be, but I would have no way of knowing because I don't have a last name to go off of. And it's a pretty cool box. It's just empty on the inside, no dividers or nothing. And I'm putting all my measuring stuff in here, level. My brother Adam thinks that I should sand it down completely and refinish it, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to leave it just like this because this was made by Ray, y'all, and it just, you know, it's his handiwork. And yeah, the finish is old because the box is old, so the finish has kind of got some cracking going on, but it doesn't feel like it's my place to do that. I think we'll keep it that way, use it in a respectful manner. And it's pretty cool to have around the shop. Something that old that was handmade by another woodworker. Anyways, let's move on with the cat bed. lacquer on there, then sanded with some fine grit sandpaper, and then a little bit of the beeswax and orange oil on top of that. This will be pretty good, so I can put my slats in here. And I ain't bothering with screwing those slats down or gluing them or anything, they'll be fine. I opted to go for the blanket instead because I thought the cat bed actually looked kind of goofy in here. So I think this will work fine. The blanket folded up is nice and cushiony, so now I just need to find a cat to put in here so I could do an intro and an outro. So Soggy is not interested in this bed at the moment. Alright, fine, you could go. Oh, there he goes. So if you liked and enjoyed this project, give it a thumbs up, be sure and subscribe, because I have brand new woodworking projects every Friday. I don't think my cats are going to use this. He's not obliging me very much, and he's trying to get out. So I'll find a spot somewhere and see if it attracts them. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.